could take that and turn it into a polished bullet. I would start with making sure you're succinct and to the point. So, like Cadet Shira's expertly acquired food valued at $100 for half price. There's way too much information in that first part of the bullet. You just wanna say, acquired food. And then, so the second part, read it. What's that? It says
Ensure sustainment
of family of five for a week. So that is, you know, basically saying the same thing that Sergeant Mauricio said, but you just kind of dragged it out a bit, but it's basically saying the same thing. So, because you have to fit these into such a short, form, you wanna get rid of, get rid of the for, the word for, you wanna get rid of those small words that you really don't need. So you really wanna make sure that you figure out what those three parts are, and you wanna do them in as short as possible to start with. Then you wanna go back and massage the bullet to put in those buzzwords, you know, the trained to educated, or, you know, the whole list that Sergeant Mauricio showed you guys. Those are the buzzwords. And you wanna shorten as much as you can off the bat, to make sure you capture those three parts. So Sergeant Mauricio's is, obviously he's got more experience, so, you know, he's got the three parts, he's got the action, it's obvious, it's the action, the result, the impact. Is that as good as that bullet can be written? No, it can definitely be written better, different words, shortened, you know, a different way of writing the impact, but it meets the intent of the action, result, impact bullet. Let's see, what do we have for Cadet Birds? Acquired $100 of fruits, veggies. So I would just change that, acquired $100 worth of food. Doesn't matter what kind of food. That's not the important piece. The important piece is that you acquired $100 worth of food. Utilize coupons and save 50%. Big thing right there. I would move that, so you have your result and impact switched. Your impact would be that you saved 50% of your budget. So I'd swap those around. But yours is, you know, no offense to Cadet Shira, but yours is more succinct, more to the point on each of those parts. But you just went out, you know, the fruits, veggies, and whatnot, that's probably a little bit more, you know, in-depth than it needs to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Once you get the format of that bullet, that's when you just massage it, put in the buzzwords, make sure you drill down and get the actual impact. A lot of times what you'll see in some very good looking bullets, they don't capture the impact. What the Air Force is looking for is save time, save money, save resources, save lives, those sorts of things. That's what they're looking for the impacts. You know, saved so many hours. You know, Sergeant Mauricio, you know, when he first got here, looked at our NSOP program and made some changes to the GEARS program, ended up saving 4 hours of processing time per cadet for each person that, you know, that does the in-processing stuff for you guys every time. So you think about that, you know, if you get 20 new cadets in every year, he saved basically 2 weeks of work just by making some simple changes. That's the impact that the Air Force is looking for. So and then if you wanna multiply that times, now you apply those same changes to UND, you have 40 cadets new every fall. there's 160 hours. Change, you know, apply that to debts across the nation, you know, that's a huge manpower savings that, so you have to look at how deep does that impact go? And then that's what you wanna capture. You know, this is a simple, yeah, the impact is you saved 50% of your budget for that particular week of groceries. Does that make sense? Is that what you wanted me to do?
Yes, thank you.
Major Slayton, you got any?
Just a little bit, I wanna do visuals. Just a little bit, I mean, he said pretty much almost everything. But let's just pretend at the end of the board is the end of your white space. So we'll start here, PM, stop here, stop somewhere in here and change that to food, so let's stop there. I would probably take these two out and put saving instead of and saved, to extend it out just a little bit, alright? Take these two, you have, for, take that out, reword it. And the good thing you guys are doing here is you're putting information, you're putting numbers, okay? That's the big thing on writing bullets, is you have to have some meat in there, so you have to have stats. So you can't just say, someone did this, they did this, the result is this. Okay, so how much did they do? What were the numbers? How many people? How many man hours? You know, numbers, stats are big. You have to have them in there. What I like to do too is I will write a bullet out, even though it may go 3 or 4 lines. That's how I start. I will write the bullet out. I will write it out as it sounds in my head, and then slowly I'll back it off until I get it to 1 line. So that may take 5 minutes. It may take however long, but that's how I do it. Everyone does it different, but I just write it out. Okay, now it's time to back it out. What can I back out? What can I abbreviate? What kind of word can I change? And a little tip to change words or to make words better is I'll right click, and I won't do it in the 1206 or the 910. Sometimes I'll be in Word and I'll do it. So I'll right click, what's a synonym for this word? Oh, that sounds better. That word's way better. So I will do synonym searches all the time.
Thesaurus.com is
Mhm.
the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
that's, if you do it in the form, I always go to thesaurus.com, and I use that religiously when I
Yeah,
write people.
yeah. And then those 2 websites I sent out in that email, you guys keep those websites. Those are huge time savers. That will take you from maybe spending a day on writing an EPR or your own OPR down to a matter of a couple of hours, I promise.
Are those ones you're supposed to send me?
Yeah. So they are awesome. Those 2 websites are amazing. So use those. And also on the 1206 that sorry, Mauricio handed out, there was a big mistake on there, and I didn't catch it till it was all the way through, and apparently the folks that, you know, that vetted it did not catch it either. There's a huge redundancy mistake in there. And so if you guys can catch that, that'd be great. But anyway, try not to be redundant. That's another big thing, is being redundant, not only in the same bullet, but maybe 5 bullets down, you've said sort of the same thing, okay? That's another huge mistake people will make, redundancy, all right, just to try to fill space. So that's pretty much all I have, all right?
Awesome.
Easiest thing is write it all the way out, no matter how many lines it is, and back it off. That's all I have.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Some quick tips for success. Void fluff. That's a big thing that when CMAS Sergeant Taylor came to visit and told us, try to avoid fluff, you know, dynamic, NCO, anything like that. Avoid it. Like Two Major said, use a thesaurus. Thesaurus.com is every time I write voice package or EPR, I got that open because you got to see what you can use to maximize, minimize your space, what words you can use. Okay. Use common acronyms and abbreviations. There are a list of abbreviations that particular commands or wings send out that are approved. So whenever you get to your next duty station, make sure you find out what those abbreviations are that you can use. As you can see, member, flight, mission, wing, how it goes, alright? So when you're writing out amounts, you don't put 100,000, write it out like that, 100K. 1 million, don't write all those zeros, put that 1M, alright? Predefined acronyms. So usually in performance reports, in this example, as a additional duty, you would spell out the additional duty, resource advisor, and parentheses, put RA. That way, in the actual bullets that you have in towards the bottom of the report, you just use RA, okay? You don't have to spell out resource advisor anymore in the performance report, okay? Don't overdo it, ensure it's still readable. Don't overdo a whole bunch of abbreviations and acronyms. Like I said before, if I'm personnelist looking at the security forces and they have a whole bunch of abbreviations and acronyms I don't know, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna dock some points because I don't know what the heck you're talking about, okay? Like what Major Tupper said, be clear, concise, be specific, okay? Avoid jargon. I don't even know what that jargon is. Major Slayton, do you know what?
Oh, yeah, that's off mine, do ODL,
Okay.
government outstanding orders, open document listings.
Right.
But those acronyms should be at the bottom.
Okay. Limit white space. So if you see white space at the end, even if it's like three lines.
For the white space, some commands, like, I was taught when I was an executive officer, the white space, if I could have 3 I's, 3 lowercase i's at the end of a bullet, there's too much white space. So you need to go in and fix the bullet. Whether you agree with it or not, it's gonna kind of be up to your command, but you want to avoid the white space, but don't drastically change your bullet and, lose impact or, anything like that just to fill the white space. You want the bullet to still be a quality bullet. If you can avoid the white space, great, but don't go overboard and change the meaning of the bullet just to fill the white space.
Yep. Don't abuse punctuation. A whole bunch of exclamation points. Yeah, we know you're excited about it, but don't use that many exclamation points, alright? And know your boss, know who the report is going up to. Each commander is different and they have a different view on their writing style, whether it's at the squadron, wing, group level. They have, their particular pet peeves, alright? So just be aware that you'll have to adjust accordingly. So I think that is all I have, unless you guys have any questions or if the majors have anything else to add. No? I appreciate y'all having me here, and maybe I'll have another bull writing class in the future. Hope y'all saw some value to this class.